closer. All right, and we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to CosTalk Live, episode 45. Oh my gosh. And today we're talking about Shounen Cosplay groups specifically, and how, honestly, if you're going to an event or you see groups online, probably 80% of the time, 75-80% of the time, it's Shounen. So today with us, we have Cosplay Choco and Gravity Cosplays. Right there. Trying to remember the reverse camera thing here. All right. So welcome and thank you for joining us today. This is awesome. So why don't we go ahead and Cosplay Choco, have you introduce yourself, and then we'll have you introduce as well Gravity after Cosplay Choco.
Hi, I'm Cosplay Choco. I am a cosplayer here in Arizona. I usually specialize in making like cheap things look very, very, very good. I shop at thrift stores like all the time. I do a bunch of sewing, and I really like anime, so.
Yay! I mean, anime is awesome. So, all right, thank you and welcome. Gravity Cosplays.
Hi guys, I'm Gravity Cosplays. Most people just know me as Gravity. I'm also an Arizona cosplayer, mostly for fun, but I'm currently trying to work into getting myself into the fashion industry and turn cosplay into a career. Yeah, it's basics.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like cosplay is a really good kind of like starting point for fashion because it teaches you how to create patterns, how to work with unusual materials, how to alter and tailor and correct for many different body types. Plus, I feel like we get to have more fun with materials than some fashion people do. So
Definitely.
All right. And then while Jinx is working on the posting that Jinx does, I'll introduce myself. I am Sam from ThermoCosplay. I've been cosplaying since 2014. I'm currently sponsored by the Cosplay Pros. They're a local cosplay supply shop. And CosTalk Live is sponsored by the Cosplay Company. And they're a UK-based clothing company that specializes in cosplay that can also be worn every day. So they have a lot of separates and stuff to make it look like it's casual clothing or it's cosplay, and it's super comfortable. So
yay, we love Cosplay Company. If you guys haven't checked them out, you can use CosTalk Live, code CosTalk Live to get 15% off their website. And they also do have some stuff on Amazon as well. So they're super
and they're
awesome.
creating new things. We kind of put some bugs in their ears.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what comes of that. Hi guys, I'm Jessica from Jinx Cosplay. I've been cosplaying since 2001. I do a lot of video game cosplays, and I'm so excited because I just got my hair done. So let me talk about me and Sam's hair because we get it done by the same person, right? And she's a cosplay friend, and you've seen her on our show. Ashley does cosplay, is amazing. So if you need a new hair person and you want to support local cosplayers, because I'm sure that does help her cosplay, check her out. Ashley does cosplay, or Ashley does hair. So
she's also like a prop maker. So she like cosplayers are one of those. I feel like we're the group that like, how can we make extra money?
Yeah. So check her out, guys, because I love my hair. So, and Sam loves hers. I'm sure. I'm not talking for you, but I know you do.
Guys, so today, hair is another thing in Shonen. Like, I have to tell you, Shonen cosplay characters have wild hair most of the time. I mean, look at My Hero Academia. It's like, what?
I know. I was like, I don't need to wear anything today because I've got cosplay hair. I've got anime hair.
Yeah. Well, I was like, oh, I have Bulma hair. Cool. I'm gonna be Bulma.
I kind of have Widowmaker hair, so I put on the Widow. Not so much. The purple's on the end.
Yeah, I didn't wear a wig for Saitama because he's bald. So
you know what? Saitama is one of those ones too that, like, if you're gonna do Saitama, it's either just slick your hair back really, really close to your head, or you spend an hour and a half going, bald cap stay.
Or you could just shave your hair. I've seen it. I've seen it done. I'm this close. I mean, quarantine's got me this close to cutting my hair.
I shaved my head originally. The first time I shaved my head was so that I could do Sombra from Overwatch. So then it just stayed there because I like it. But all right, so we'll move on to Shonen. And hello, Joe. Thank you for joining us today. For everyone who doesn't know, if you see us responding to a comment, but it's not appearing in your thread, we do stream via CosTalk Live to Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube simultaneously. So, yeah. All right. So we'll start. Yeah. You know, it's funny how many people are like, well, I didn't see anybody say anything. Oh, well, that was from YouTube.
Yeah, I sent people to the YouTube one once, and like they were all alone, and
Oh.
Oh.
No, they can always chat. Yeah, we see everything.
Yeah, it varies from day to day because like each stream sometimes we'll have a ton on YouTube or a bunch on Facebook. I don't know. I've given up figuring out which is the favorite platform because it just changes all the time. So hello, Ray. Why don't we start with you, Gravity? What would you say in so far has been your favorite like shonen cosplay group that you've done?
Gosh, I've done a lot, and I'd probably say it's a close tie between one of the Voltron groups that Cosplay Choco and I did, or even my medieval BNHA cosplay group.
Evil BNHA. So I'm
medieval,
gonna
right? It was. Did you do that at was it SAC, or did you go to Katsucon with it?
For the medieval one, it was actually for SabotenCon.
Yeah, I remember. It's way back. I think you were Momo, right?
I was actually Bakugo. I was in that big heavy armor.
Yes, I remember. Okay, and then the Choco was there with the really cool shield thing, and
yeah,
it's really pretty.
Yeah, I would love to bring that back when cons come back.
Look at all these already. Like, there's already so many. Like, is it this one? Wait, no.
Yes,
no,
that is my Night Bakugo.
Dude, I can't see the context.
I was like, wait a second, that looks like it.
I was like, listen, I can see a black silhouette with these contacts. Like, that's how. Yep.
That is awesome. What did you use? Did you use like the floor mats, or did you use EVA foam?
I'm trying to remember. I think I just used EVA foam. For the longest time, I did like the floor mats or like the rolls, but then I started buying the sheets. I think that's actually with Yaya Han's EVA foam.
That foam, I have to tell you, EVA foam, for those of you who aren't familiar with the difference, is the floor mats work really well if you're starting out. It's inexpensive. It's good to experiment with. But the true EVA foam, the true closed-cell foam, oh my gosh, it takes to glue better. It takes to paint better. It's so much easier to use. And I didn't realize it until I switched, and I was like, I'm never going back. The only time I use the floor mats is when I need to build up like a bunch of like padding, right? Like I need an armor to like sit up higher. And I just, okay, stack a couple of these things here. That's it. It's just padding filler. Yeah. But that's awesome. Hi, Maya. And yeah, Joe says Sabo is fun. I mean, I really hope that it's safe enough to do Sabo this year because I miss Sabo.
Ray said hi as well. Hi, Ray. I don't know if he said hi to Ray. Hi.
Yeah, I think so. So what about that? Like, what about that costume made you so happy?
When it comes to Night Bakugo, like in general, I'm someone that really enjoys alternate universes. So usually when I create groups, it's for those universes. So I wanted to expand upon the fantasy AU stuff that Horikoshi does, but wanted to twist it and make it my own. So I actually commissioned a fellow cosplayer and an artist to do all of these designs for everyone in the group. And so all of these are based off of some form of art that we got from our artist.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I know we have some full ones. I've got some like Bakugo and a Choco ones where we're fighting. It's a lot of fun. I think I really liked that costume because it challenged me to make a more complex suit of armor. Obviously, because Bakugo is male and I'm non-binary, so it's a little harder to make male cosplays, especially a full plate of armor, is certainly a challenge, and I spent weeks making that.
Yeah, Yeah, and it's definitely one of those things too where you have to figure out, where am I going to pad things out? Where am I going to try and use like shapewear and other things to bring things in? Body modification and like limited and even extreme cases happens a lot with cosplay, and I feel like shonen shonen manga and anime are the ones that people kind of push the most because they're so exaggerated.
Yeah, the proportions are so exaggerated all the time. I mean, you think about like the Sailor Moon legs, right? Like no real person is 80% leg, but we like to think that we can do that.
Mm.
Yeah, I basically, when I do my Sailor Moon stuff, it's to the point of, it's like, okay, I'm wearing booty shorts and it is literally like a couple millimeters right underneath my cheek just to be like, oh, so, but I have a 42-inch outseam, which is pretty long for people, so I can kind of make that happen for people who aren't as tall as I am, where they're like 5'9", 5'10". Yeah, it's like, how do you fake this? And that's where you like see people get boots that have the lift inside of them and you don't know, and so all of a sudden they look really tall, and it's like, yeah.
No, I look super tall in my photos. Like, people meet me in real life and they're like, "Oh, you're 5'4". I'm like,
Angles.
yeah.
People say the same thing about me too. Like, I'm 5'3", and they're like, "Whoa, you look," but I do kind of have like longer legs than average, I guess. So they look tall. So yeah,
when we did we did like the pop stars group from League of Legends, and I was like, if you cut me out, she looks so tall, but then you add me back and it's like, hi. I make everyone in that photo look tiny because I'm just like, for Amazon. I mean, but that's kind of like the fun thing I feel is enjoyable about anime, and especially shonen. For those of you who don't know what shonen is, it's anime, manga, and video games made for individuals that are male, between identify as male per Japanese standards, between 8.
Yeah, the target audience is male. It's usually within like the youth, so they're trying to aim for kids that are like 12, and then adults that are like within the ages of like 26, 27. It is supposed to be like male targeted audiences, but as anime progresses, we have seen that is not the case.
Nope. Honestly, that's how it's defined, but it really it reaches a much larger audience than I think a lot of people understand. and that's the thing too, is as things grow, I think we're going to see a lot of anime receive new titles as finally the world becomes more inclusive, right? So I'm kind of excited to see what happens. But Joe, all the ladies are short next to me. Yeah,
I know, because it's like, so when we were doing the Magic Knight Rare, Sam, the character actually had taller boots, right? But you actually went with shorter boots, and I went with taller boots.
I went with an inch high boot.
Yeah, and I went with a little bit taller boot so that I could, yeah. So yeah. Although Lena was supposed to be small.
I remember the Leafeon group. I remember all of a sudden you just see this Leafeon like leaving this body.
And I'm like, I am a giant Leafeon. I'm like, yeah, I can't be small. It's fine.
Bonta's hi from YouTube. Hiya. And Ashley, oh, I like your name. Iluna Neko van der Linden. Oh, is that right? I like it. The power of those hidden heels are real. Yes.
I need to get me some of those.
Yeah, same.
That reminds me, for the medieval group, I wore like 3-inch boots for Bakugo, and I was still the shortest because I'm only 5'3".
Yeah.
Yeah, and then your sibling wore demonias or something like
that.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. Like, pretty much, I mean, again, I'm so the average male height in the US is like, what, 5'10"? So I'm almost the same height as the average man in the United States, right? And the average global male height is 5'7". So I'm taller than the average male global height. And you throw boots on me and I'm 6 foot. So there's no
That's why you make our perfect Jupiter.
Hi. That's actually what you mentioned, doing a lot of like male costumes. I actually gravitate towards male characters because I associate myself with them more, and I'll typically kind of change them to fit my body type more. So I don't call it gender. I mean, it is gender big, but it's not. It's just like I throw on their costume. I don't really try to modify. I don't have much breast unless I augment it, but it's a little bit easier to wear male costumes because they fit my body type and my height better. And so I think that's why I like shonen so much. Is it's like this exaggeration works better for my body type.
Yeah, I think you did a really good Gowry too. Like Gowry.
I love Gowry. I forgot I did Gowry. How could I forget that? Yeah. So Cosplay Choco, what would you say is your favorite? Which one do you want me to share? Because you sent me some.
I know. I saw a couple. I think I'll start with like the first one I organized. I think I would have done a lot more groups, but the first one I organized was again My Hero Academia. I did a witch AU. I wanted to start this tradition for like Halloween where I take a fandom and then I make them all into witches for no reason whatsoever. And
good Halloween, right? That's the reason.
Yeah. For Halloween. That is the reason.
That's
so
the
we
reason.
did My Hero Academia group. And basically I like pick people. I don't even know if I had like technically I had open casting for it and I like posted on my story and I was like, hey, whoever wanted to join. But then I was still in people's DMs being like, I'd love for you specifically to be in this group. So, and then I knew like, obviously like Gravity has experience with AUs. Like I knew that I didn't have to instruct them or anything. That's a very important part when you're doing groups. If you pick people that you know have the skills or that you get along with, or like, you know, you work well with, those are the perfect people to be in groups. Obviously, you should give people who don't have group experience a chance. There was a couple people in this group that did not have any large group experiences, but it's good to have a balance of experienced people and not experienced people, because if you have like just like a whole group of people who haven't done a group before, it's going to be like a crazy time. I love this. I actually had to take this off of TikTok because once it reached 50K likes, TikTok took away the sound.
Oh, geez, that's that.
I was like mad. But it's so funny. I love this group so much. Like we had such a good time like creating. Everybody had like a little backstory for their AU character, which I think is really fun. Also AUs are just easier to organize because you all don't have to buy like the same costume from the same company. You can all like make your own thing. Like it doesn't like, you know, like the textiles don't necessarily have to match, like the textures don't have to match either. It's just like a lot more freedom, a lot more creativity. So I really love this. I actually have like a behind the scenes video in like my IGTV story because like there was 12 of us
Nice.
at an apartment complex goofing around. Really cool. I think Gravity made like glowing potions that like activated with UV lights and stuff. That was really cool. And then I think like my second favorite group, even though that weekend was kind of a mess, sometimes with groups, you know, people get a lot of pressure to get things finished and get things done, and it gets to you. But my second favorite group is the one that we did for Gaora. We did like a whole like Gaora themed group for Voltron. It's like all Gravity's idea. Like it was and I literally came over and I was like, I want to see this group happen. I want to help. And then literally 2 weeks before I was like helping like make a necklace or something. And I was like, you know, I think I want to be in the group too. And then we went to SAC Anime Winter and crushed it. Like there's no other way to describe it. We absolutely crushed it. There were like the fact that I'm still on like the voice actor for Shuro and for the voice actor of Lotor's Twitter. Like we're still somewhere deep down, we're still on his Twitter feed because at some point we get there, right? And we go to like one of the voice actor panels, and then I managed to get in line because I ran to ask a question. And like you know, like there's footage of me asking the question, and then there's like I pointed them to our group and they were like which was really cool. And then eventually we got like trapped in a room with the voice actors because we Gravity set up this like photography session with all the voice actors were there. There was like a bunch of them. Like I want to say like four or five.
Mm-hmm.
I have the picture. Hold up, let me get it.
It's
So
like
you're talking about
comment.
voice actors. So you're talking about voice actors, and we did was it a Seven Deadly Sins group at Emerald City Comic Con, and freaking the voice actors yelled at us from across the freaking convention. We came over. They made us come behind the booth because they were so excited.
Oh.
And this is the picture we got. Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
A couple of comments.
Let me stop the screen. Hang on. There you go.
Yeah, there it is.
Picture. So
Nice.
we ended up doing this huge group, and we got stuck in this room for like an hour. Just because like Kimberly Brooks, AJ, like Shuro's voice actor, Zarkon's voice actor, and then Aksha's voice actor, who she never goes to anything. So it was like the one chance that Gravity got to able to meet her. Cool.
Okay, just a couple. I just want to mention a couple comments here. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
that's
holding her
great.
gun. It's really cute. But yeah, we got trapped in an hour, and then we ended up making the Spider-Man meme with like all the Lotors there, and like a video of like AJ like pointing at all the Lotors, being like, "Why are we all here?" And then like I'm Hanerva, so like I'm Lotor's mom, so I was like super excited. Like it was absolutely nuts. Like we had like a conversation with them. We started making memes and jokes. Like those are the kind of opportunities that big groups like kind of present themselves, because they are kind of flashy and they're they're like a statement. They're a huge statement.
Yeah.
Cool Gamer 2 said hi, howdy on YouTube. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. And Joe says, my wife found some boots the other day. So for a cosplay she wanted, but her legs were too short. Oh, I have that problem too. Like sometimes
you can trim the boots. I'm like, we've had to do that with the boots. Yeah, honestly, we've had to do that before, where we remove the zipper, trim the boots, and add zipper back.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good.
Or you can just remove the top of the zipper and then like stamp it back down again, and like it's not easy, but you can do it. Yeah.
But as far as groups being like, like a statement, definitely like we did that with our evolutions. So especially when you have a complete group, right? It's like so they're definitely difficult to put together, but they make such an impact.
I think I have evolution somewhere. Let me find
It's nice to see complete groups. I don't care what it is. Like a complete group is like, oh my God. Everybody's there and they're committed. We did Overwatch. My family and I did Overwatch. So I was Widow, my sister was Sim, my brother was McCree, his kids were Diva and Soldier, and then his girlfriend was Tracer. Yeah, and then my sister's daughter was a little Diva Halloween mech. So that was 7 of us. I'm not doing like this. 7.
Yeah, let me. I found the evolutions thing. I found us going on stage. Let's see if it's gonna freak out on me. Hang on, let me go back. So there's the group.
Yeah, but we still are missing one, right?
And this one we were missing Glaceon. And then that was like, I mean, we took up so much of the stage.
I know, there were so many of us. We were like, where do we all stand?
It was very fun.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, like, I almost tripped over that egg. I forgot. And I was like, dear God, I'm gonna die. Yeah, that was Nora. Anyways. but yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, it's just when you have the large groups, and that's the great thing about shonen is there's really no small shonen. Like every shonen has like way too many characters in it, which is a good thing for variety. And I think I honestly feel like it's more inclusive, because then you can include people who may not feel comfortable wearing like a more skimpy outfit, or people who might be on the larger side or on the smaller side, and there's just so much variation.
Groups you're right. Groups are great for people that are like shy, because then obviously they're definitely going to be surrounded by people with like minds and similar interests. So that's a really great way for people that like if you haven't really started in cosplay or you're too shy, find a group. Like that's a great way to start.
Yeah. That's literally how I started. Like I wasn't even in the cosplay scene. I didn't have cosplay friends, and then Gravity and their sibling invited me to a group, and now I'm here. Like I didn't even post on my Instagram, like nothing. Like,
I like
Um,
wish that I was better at making, like, I see so many people at events and online, and like when you see them in costume, you get excited and you hang out with them, and then afterwards you forget who they are, and it's terrible. Like,
Ooh.
can we like create a cosplay app where like I met this cosplay friend and just track them?
I feel so bad because I always
need
forget
this.
people or don't
So
recognize
about
people.
that, actually, there is a new app that just started called I think OG Glaze. I'd have to double check, but it's
Sounds like
specifically for cosplayers by cosplayers, and so you can track like commissions, the people you follow. I've heard really great things, so it might
That would be awesome. Because
Okay,
yes,
OG
to track people through.
OG Glaze came up with Krispy Kreme for me.
Okay, it might be cosplay. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But
Yeah.
it's like it's
The
specific.
donut cosplay.
got after that. If you're not interested in the app, make sure you join a couple of Facebook groups. Facebook groups are honestly a really good way to connect. I know everyone's like, Facebook's dead. I was like, nah, people still
Not
use
for
it.
group. No, I have
Really?
I have a group. Yeah,
Because,
I have a
like,
group.
Gen Z, I guess, doesn't use Facebook anymore. Is what I
guess
heard.
not,
I don't know.
But like but those Gen Zs are always the person to be like, I don't have any cosplay friends. I was like, you didn't look, bud.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like Facebook groups. I know that Arizona has Arizona Cosplayers Assemble.
There's like 3 or 4. Oh, there's Blue Ribbon cosplayers.
Yeah, Blue Ribbon Army. They do a lot of volunteer work if you're interested in that kind of thing. I feel like Arizona Cosplayers Assemble is a little bit more casual. They post like things like meetups and stuff. If you're nervous about meeting cosplay friends for the first time, make sure you go.
Wait,
and
can I say that again, Gravity?
Oh yeah.
It's cosplay OG. Sorry.
Oh, cosplay OG.
Yeah.
Oh,
OG stands for Original Glaze.
Oh, not original gangster.
not original gangster,
Am I
original
too old?
glaze. And
I
not
thought
like donut, not donut glaze, like Mod Podge glaze, probably.
Oh, 'cause I love donuts.
I love
When it was
donuts.
Krispy Kreme, I was like, oh my god. Okay,
Yo,
cosplay
I love
OG.
donuts.
It's not like cosplay like original gangster. Like that sounds cool too.
All right, gangster AU, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Jess, I think original gangster unfortunately is 90s, and people are forgetting the 90s already.
People are born. People are probably all born in the 2000s. See,
They
I'm old,
are.
guys.
I was like, yeah,
You're not old. I'm old too.
I was talking about like really groups that I want to do, and I was like talking about how I really want to do a Naruto group someday, and like people are like, "What Naruto?"
Are you serious?
Not yes.
Isn't Naruto like 10 years
People
old?
are only watching Jujutsu Kaisen and
Naruto,
BNHA
I think he's like
and
20 years old now. I
Oh,
think.
Naruto's
Right?
So,
older
like-
then?
Yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure
guess
Naruto is 20 years old. Because
Yeah.
Pokemon's like
I
45
grew
years
up on
old.
stuff, so like literally that's the show that raised me.
1999, yeah. 22 years
Ew.
old.
Stop.
And Pokemon came out before that. Pokemon's what, 30 years old? Right?
Pokemon. Let's look up Pokemon.
Or is it-
It's okay because like
1996. Oh, the video.
unfortunately, apparently that's just my thing. Apparently I like bringing back old
Retro.
anime from the grave.
Yeah.
That's
Don't be afraid of doing really old anime. Like don't be afraid of watching old shows, old series and stuff, or doing
Utena.
It just
from-
expands your like repertoire. You're like more things to cosplay from. You know?
literally it expands your repertoire. You get to see how anime grew because it did progress. It has not always looked this good, okay? And if you cosplay really old anime and you do a huge group, dude, people will cry in front of you. People will like literally like bow. Like people will just like give up everything. Like it's happened. My most well-known cosplay is from a series that's like over, I don't know. It's really old, like over 20, definitely over 20.
Are
Possibly
you talking
30.
about Anthe?
Yeah, Utena's old.
Revolutionary Girl Utena, I believe, is 25 years old.
Revolutionary Girl
I
Utena.
I saw it when I was 10.
And it's bad because now I want to be like, guys, I'm in a Discord group. It's like, guys, we should do like a Rosa Versailles group. We should do.
Oh my gosh,
And
yes!
that's older. Like Revolutionary Girl Utena came out 20 years after Rosa Versailles did. So It's old. But like that's like the thing I'm most well known. I got featured for Funimation on it. Like it's things get crazy, guys. Like don't be afraid.
Couple of comments here. Let's see. If Joe says if you ever need an old couple for a group you're in, totally. Let's see. Vaughn, fun seeing our big Fallout group marching through the main floor at Tucson. And Tucson's a small con too, so I was like, bam, all these big mech power armor. Sorry, wrong anime, wrong genre. See, I'm okay. Anyway, my Naruto is still popular among middle school students. Okay, maybe it's like making a comeback. You know, it's like skipping a couple generations. That's cool because I see a lot of 90s fashion coming back now. Ray says it's pretty old, but the majority of my anime costumes are Naruto characters and Inuyasha. Inuyasha is still very popular. Like
Inuyasha is making a comeback because of the new series.
It's
always been like a staple. I
feel like I've always consistently seen Inuyasha cosplay ever since it was, came out, which, let's see. And Maya says, did I hear Utena? Let's bring it back. I've actually never seen all of it. I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes, but
warning, it's intense. It's an intense anime. I don't think
it does not get any better.
Guys, anime back in the day would lure you with like happy school anime and they would be like, oh, we're so cute. We're all in this together. And then suddenly you hit the arc.
Everyone dies.
Where everyone dies. And I'm not, no spoilers or anything, but you should remember that My Hero Academia is a shonen anime. You should remember that there's going to be an arc where everything goes to crap.
If it's easy for you to figure this out, so My Hero Academia is shonen and so is Death Note.
So is Naruto, and they did a tournament arc, and you know what happened in their tournament arc? People die.
Things
so
went bad.
The tournament arc is like a breeze, guys. Like that's a ray of sunshine. Like,
So we'll go ahead and keep moving on with cosplay. But sorry, guys, we really, really love anime. Gravity, what would you say? Like when you've done like shonen groups, what's an obstacle that you often encounter?
The biggest would definitely be communication.
Okay.
So when I first started making groups, I would do like chats on Instagram or in Facebook Messenger, and I'm quickly realizing that Discord is probably the best and most organized place for that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, and it's like really hard because like everyone has different strengths in technology. Yeah, and I grew up with technology, like because of my age, like I'm a millennial, but I grew up right in between. Like my first computer was the first ever color Apple, and so it was this huge screen on this tiny little tower, and I had to use command prompt to get to places, and it was 8-bit.
Did you have that really trendy one with like the colored outside monitor case?
No, mine was before that. Mine was the very first color monitor. So I grew up learning how to type and use that, but a lot of people now have been born when technology and computers were pretty prevalent. And so they take it for granted. And so when you try to incorporate them into things, there's actually like a limited amount of knowledge, oddly enough, despite its prevalence, right?
I hate to say this, like we're actually Zennials. I'm always like, I'm not a millennial, but
I'm like a Zennial. I'm like literally I'm 1998. I literally go on the web and I look up like what generation, and they're like, "Are you X? Maybe you're X." Oh, but like,
no, you're not a Zennial.
And then, literally, if you look up what generation, 1990,
not an X Zennial.
No, you're a Z. Oh yeah, you're a Z Zennial. We're like an X Zennial.
I don't know what. Like literally, I change it according to who has beef with me. So if someone's like, "Oh man, I'm like, oh, I have beef with the millennials," I'm like, I'm a Gen Z, so don't bother me. Or if like a Gen Z comes at me and is like, "What's up, homie? You want to do a TikTok dance?" And I'm like, I'm refined.
That's a good point with communication, because with cosplay, it spans so many generations, right? Yes. And so when someone mentions like, oh, let's do an anime group, like a millennial may have one series of mind, while a Gen Xer might have another, and a Gen Z may have another. And so that all of a sudden there's just like this mix in communication. Plus, think about different age levels, like maturity levels, and like I said, mentioned with like technology gaps. So how have you overcome those obstacles, Gravity?
I mean, Obviously, it depends on the group, and with con not going on right now, it's a bit hard because groups are all currently stalled unless it's like for TikTok or just
Pass the
online
brush.
posting.
Pass the brush stuff.
Yeah. But you know, typically if like someone doesn't have a specific platform or whatever, I'm usually pretty accommodating and, you know, message them on a different one, let them know what's going on, you know, see how things are doing. But I definitely think that one of like the biggest issues with communication is checking up on everybody and making sure that they're keeping up with like the deadlines and stuff like that. And you know, it's common for people to drop last minute. Maybe they didn't finish their costume, maybe they're not feeling well.
And a lot of the times I feel like people drop out because a lot of the times they feel the pressure or like they didn't reach out to get help when they needed help. And you should really like reach out to your group members and keep up that communication. I know for a fact, like I unfortunately had to drop out of this awesome SAC anime winner group for Avatar: The Last Airbender that Gravity did. Because
I dropped out of that too.
But like it was just like rough. Like it was just like because like groups can be rough, and a lot of the times, especially if you're in a group where you don't think you have a voice, if you feel like you are being overspoken, if you feel like no one is listening to your ideas, then you need to leave. Then you need to go to people that appreciate your ideas and appreciate your work. If you're in a part of a group where people, instead of trying to uplift you and help you do improvements and like, you know, engage with you, instead they're like harshing down on your cosplay and they're like, you know, ridiculing you, or like they don't like the fibers of your wig for some reason, then you need to go and make your own group, because there is always going to be people who want to do groups with you.
Yeah, the only time that, in my opinion, the only time you should at all be, and it should be positive criticism, it should be like criticism that's helping an individual. The only time you should be criticizing cosplay is that you're competing, and that's just to make sure that you're all like in the same like if you're going to be in a group, it's better to have like the same fabric type or this.
You want to be cohesive.
Cohesive, right? But if you're just doing this for fun, I don't care if you went to the thrift store, if you bought it, if you had someone like you commissioned someone or you borrowed it, like that shouldn't matter.
I'm kind of sometimes the only times where I'm like that, if we're all in the same uniform, I do recommend buying from the same like company or whatever, just because because it does make a visual difference in pictures, and you yourself will feel bad. Like,
but that's the thing too, is with communication, you want to put everything up front. Like when I do groups, I warn people, hey, this is the level I operate at. I'm master level. I am very organized. I will have everything everything organized for you. I will literally send you a list of, this is the reseller we're using. This is how much it costs. This is when we need to order by. I am willing to even sew stuff for you, but I put it all out front to let them know this is how I operate. Are you comfortable with this? So,
yeah, I think especially because like there are some groups where you want a high level, like you want high level, you want like the most, like you feel like you want this to look elite. Some groups are for like pushing yourselves and elevating yourselves sometimes, and that can be fun, but it is also a lot of pressure, especially when you have like a deadline that's very soon. Like that Galra group that we were talking about with Voltron, we were doing like the final season's outfit that literally premiered like 2 weeks ago. And we like Gravity was like getting screenshots all the time, like getting ready for it. And I hope you're better about this now, by the way. I hope you're not like making like 4 sets of armor for everybody or something like that. I hope you're not doing that anymore. Because like helping out is great. Like, if you overpile yourself with work, if you're like making everyone's stuff and they're not compensating you or they're not treating you like right, like it'll build up, because like even when we got to the con, like I have good memories from that con, but I also remember everyone dying. Like I remember everyone like there was like someone got injured, another person was like like literally the first costume, they were blind and they had like a automatic tail. We don't speak to this person anymore because their reaction was bad. But they didn't tell us they were not okay. They didn't communicate very well that they were not okay. Like during the day, even like while we were traveling in the group. Like if you're traveling in a group and one of your people are like, yo, like, my heel broke and my ankle's twisted, we should sit down. Like, then you should say so.
Yeah.
So I feel like the most important thing in a group is obviously the communication before you even start, right? Like set your standards, set your like requirements, if any, for, you know, a contest or anything like that. And then of course communication during. But yeah, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
I can definitely see how that's a huge problem all the time. Because I remember we did one group where someone didn't communicate they weren't done, and then we got to like, you know, the day before competition, and we're like staying up all night. Like that was fun. So, but yeah, we still had a good time. But yes, definitely communication is very important.
Yes.
A couple of comments here. Joe says, "I'm on the edge of boomer and the next, so you're all young." Yeah, we are. We are. I mean, I say I'm old, but I know I'm still young. Sorry, I just like to make fun of myself. Kat says, "Good day, wonderful individuals." Kat is one of our lovely friends. She does her own stream, Craftily Ever After. Vaughn says he's got to go to Walmart for paint to finish his Mando shoulders. So we would love to see that very soon.
Good luck with your rust, because I know you're working on your rust.
You got to go rust, right? Got to go make some rust.
It's making rust. It takes a long time. I don't know if you've ever tried to build up rust on a costume, but it just takes forever.
That'll have to be a whole nother episode. How to rust.
Oh yeah, weathering and stuff. We did that for like a group, our zombie group. Literally, I went over to Gravity's house and I had like just tubs of coffee and like acrylic paint and like a big old bucket and a tarp. I brought like 2 tarps. I took over their house. And
we burned things in the backyard. It's fun.
Well, we've kind of covered a lot of like about communication and obstacles. I think we've got the obstacles pretty covered here. I'll start with you, Cosplay Choco. What shonen group cosplay that you made would you think was the most challenging for you personally to create? Look, I asked a hard question. You're like,
Personally, I don't think I've ever had ones where I was like, oh, this is hard, because I've enjoyed the process of making them. Usually the hard thing about groups is not necessarily like the making of the costume, it's just the coordination of
logistics.
Like the logistics. I don't know how we matched our colors on that, by the way. I have no idea. Literally every time me and KK Ninja get together, we're like, oh, our reds match. Neat. Like we're so in sync. Like if you find people that you're so in sync with and that like it just goes, then it's fantastic. Because it happened again with like her Azula and my Katara. Like that matched okay, like just as fine too. I guess like I would have to say like all of my Avatar The Last Airbender stuff has been the hardest, just because I do put a lot of detail into those. Detail's really fun. I think that the hardest, like, I don't even know. I think the hardest one to coordinate, like to make, was like like the BNHA Witch AU, just because like we built like a mini set around the group for like the photos that day. Like we laid out like lanterns and like we had like tea, and then we had like a spell book, and we had like all sorts of stuff. And then I had a photographer cancel, and then I had like, you know, like I had to juggle those things, which is why it's really hard to be like a leader of a group. Like I commend anyone who does it, because it does take like a lot of extra time. It takes a lot of like extra work. You put in like hours and hours of communication, hours of providing resources for people who are confused and stuff like that. And you really should do like a group out of like the kindness of your heart. It really is about like, you know, like I love meeting people and like making a better connection with them. So like I know more about being a good group member than I do about being like a group leader, because I'm not the best.
That's good. No, that's awesome. And that's fair. Like I mean, I feel like every costume has its own challenge. Is there something that stands out for you, Gravity?
Oh gosh. Remind me of the original question, so I don't
Just
answer it
like
wrong.
a costume that you created that was shonen genre that was like very challenging for you to create.
I think it kind of trails back to like that medieval BNHA AU because, like, obviously I have a lot of experience working with armor. It's the very first thing I learned when I dove into cosplay. So I didn't have as much problem with that, but a lot of the members in my group didn't know anything about armor making. And so it was me taking all of this time and either going to people's houses or having them come to my house and patterning and teaching them how to make the armor. And, you know, even then we still had probably half of the members of the group cancel on us because they didn't finish in time or just couldn't handle it. And that's totally valid. But yeah, that's most of our group. We had a few others that changed out early. But
oh my gosh, getting your whole entire group to get into one picture at a con, you would think it's not that hard. Let me tell you.
It is so hard.
Especially if you've got like, especially if there's a lot of people around you, then people are like, oh, come here, take a picture. And then you've got group members leaving like, and then you're like, where's so-and-so? Where's Leafeon? Leafeon, get over here. You know, and Leafeon's like,
I did, let's see here, maybe if I can find it. When we did our 7 Deadly Sins, it was just like an accident that we encountered each other. And like one of our friends is like, my friend's a photographer, let's go. We just found this little corner in Seattle Convention Center. We just like took over this corner with our like the light for the camera. We're like, this is our corner. Like, but finding space to like getting the people together and finding the space is tricky.
Very true.
Yeah,
I think another issue with groups is finding a photographer that will photograph that many people.
Yeah,
and be able to like organize and control them, right?
Yeah, because like you know, there's some photographers that can really only handle like 1 or 2 people, and that's completely valid. But
some
you know, if you have a group of like 10 people, 10 plus people,
you did like a BNHA uniform one, right? And you were like struggling to find photographers that could even like comprehend that amount of people.
So that one was organized by someone else, and I was brought in as shoji. But you know, it's still the fact I think we had at least 15 people. That's one of them. We did the gym uniform. And so that one was a lot of work trying to find a photographer that worked for that.
If you have more than 5 people, that's the breaking point. Yeah, right there. That's where it gets
definitely the funnest to start. I love doing the small groups, which is like the 3 to 5 group like portion.
Oh, when we did KDA, oh my god, that was like some of the most fun I ever had. And we were just like we're all in like bot costumes too. We're just like, this is the most fun, even though we like had blood, sweat, and tears on our like made costumes, and we all just get in something we bought, and we're like, this is the best. I'm having so much fun.
I think that's the thing, like with groups, that's like a good point here. I found like another, I mean, so the thing with groups is when you, like I said, when you get over 4, you get to 5, you can usually handle it, but it starts getting a little messy. And when you get over 5, it's like you need 2 project coordinators. And you're like, okay, project 1, you get these 10, I get these 10, or this 8, and you just have to split the group up. And I mean, like Jinx mentioned, when we did our evolutions at, what was it, TaiyuCon?
Tabo. Oh, the second time?
Yeah, wasn't it Taiyu?
Second time was Taiyu, yeah.
But like it was one of those things where it's like, oh my goodness, like I just, in my brain, it didn't like click how
many people we were dealing with.
Yeah. And like I actually have like there's a fate group that we did at Taiyu too. It was just a random thing. And I mean, there were so many of us that just kind of grouped up together. And so there were like 3 photographers trying to find angles without getting someone's head in the top, like right here. And so we eventually just started breaking it up. Like, okay, all the sabers to go together and all of fate stay here.
A cosplay meetup all of the sudden.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay, so we're going to rearrange here and move these people around. And it was really the only way to make it happen. And I think our Evolutions was the same year. I could be wrong though. Like there's just like too many. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. And then if you see someone online and they have a group and you notice that they're missing somebody, don't be afraid to ask and just be like, hey, I don't know if you have this person or not, but if you need them, then I'm totally willing to be that person because I know
that's
so many
how this one happened. That's how the Arcana group. I just was randomly walking by as Azra, and they're like, "We need an Azra," and I just got kidnapped. It was okay. So I agree with you.
I think for groups, there's also this nice appreciation of side characters because the main characters are always so easy to fill, but it's hard to find, the people that are willing to do the side characters. And that's usually one of my things is I love side characters. So usually I will opt to take a side character so that someone else has a spot in the group. But that's not always the easiest case. Sometimes somebody wants to be a main character. Like when we did the Witch AU, I was like, yeah, I could do Shoji again, but I kind of want to be one of the mains for once.
Yeah,
I was so excited because I love your Todoroki. So I was like, no. No side character for you.
I think I live my life by side characters. Like,
yeah, I hope that people who are like marginalized, like me, don't get pushed into side character roles. I was really thankful. I mean, like, I kind of regret not being in the group, but I kind of don't. Like, I got asked to be, that WonderCon group that was like they did Hercules. Or like Momo or something, or probably with Ashley or something.
Yeah. I was in it. Yeah,
I got asked to be one of like the side muses or whatever at some point in time for that convention, and I really said no because I like didn't want to be like I'm so tired of being used as a prop because I'm a Black cosplayer. Like sometimes the only way Black cosplayers get asked to be in groups is because they're cosplaying a Black side character or something, and it's like really shady. Like at some point I got like someone in Taiyu or whatever, they did like this huge Sailor Moon group or whatever, and they asked me to be Pluto. Well, Pluto's like one of the sailors that's one of the darks, like in the manga, she's a dark-skinned sailor. So that's like the only reason why they asked me, which is like really sad. Like I get it, they wanted that representation. You want that representation in your group or whatever, but like don't come at it that way when you ask somebody. Like don't be like, okay, you have big boobs, so I want you to be my group because you a big boobed bitch. Like don't do that, or like don't be that person.
What's ironic is like I set up a lot of cosplay groups and I just throw it out there with a vote and I'm like, whatever's left, I'll take. But basically it's like choose your own, and if 2 people want the same character, then I'm like, then we're going to have doubles, or we're going to choose different versions of the outfit, and you're both going to be present. Because I don't think, like, you shouldn't have to be, like, I kept getting typecast as Sailor Mercury just because I'm intelligent. And it really frustrated me because Jupiter is my favorite. And so, and we were talking about Sailor Scouts, and I was like, no, I don't want to be Mercury. They're like, you're Mercury. And I'm like, I don't want to be Mercury. It's just like, so, like, it's not the same thing where, like, I mean, people of color have far worse time, but it's just don't put someone in a box. Let them be what they want to be. Like I do Mass Effect characters, and it's almost always male Mass Effect characters. So, like, it's fun. And yes, most male Mass Effect characters don't have a ginormous booty like I do, but that's okay. They do now.
I don't know.
They've just been doing their squats a little extra.
I kind of have 2 minds about it. Because like for one thing, open to anything, but I feel like sometimes if somebody does ask you to fill a role, you know, it's like they want to maybe like, I don't know, because I enjoy being like the Moana, like when we're like, we need a Moana, obviously like that's the character I fit the most. So I do enjoy like being asked to be a character like that like means something to me. I guess it depends. But you're right. Like there are people that are like, oh, we haven't cast anybody yet except for the person of color.
But
Who do we know?
That makes sense because you're known for your Moana though. Like you
true.
know that you do Moana. Like I've never done a Sailor Pluto. I've never done a Hercules thing. I've never, you know, I'm just like,
I totally get it though. Yeah, it definitely depends. Like
I do love being asked to be in groups. Like don't get me wrong, I love being asked to be in groups. Like there's a difference between like, oh, someone asks you because they know you love this series and they know you have this amazing costume. They know you have like the skills to like execute it. Versus like this is your archetype, so you should totally be in this group because this is your archetype.
Yeah. So that's one thing too when you're thinking about like inviting people,
creating your group.
Creating a group. I always suggest like let people say what they want to be first and then determine if you have duplicates. And if you have duplicates, bring those duplicates together and have them discuss what they want to do.
Yeah.
That's kind of what my job has been like we mentioned this a couple times. We've done like KDA Ari, and when we did our evolutions, I didn't want to be Leafeon, but I also didn't care because I wanted everybody else. Like I liked all of the evolutions, and so I was like, yeah, it's not my favorite design, but I'll make it work.
I got stuck with Sylveon, I think, because she was showing the most amount of skin. Nobody else wanted it.
Yeah, and I mean,
Sylveon's gorgeous, by the way.
It's great, yeah. But the same thing with like our like KDA groups or a lot of other things. I usually get typecast as the taller, curvier person because that's what I am. But sometimes I want to be the super short character. So like that's why I love Ruby so much because I love being Nora and she's like the shortest character. And I'm like, Nora got a growth spurt.
The funny thing for me is like I'm 5'3", but I always do the tall characters. So they're like always over 6 foot. And I'm like, hi.
Yeah. So don't limit your body
type. You can never tell in like Gravity's TikToks. She has like the Ruby cosplays that like show the shoulders. She always looks like they always look like they're ready to beat me up. And I'm like, I know their real height. I'm not. Like it's so cool.
Well, and that's a good thing to talk about, like, because that's like a combination of like obstacles and enjoyment too. Like,
oh my gosh, guys!
Group, yeah, I know we're almost near the end, but when you do a group, you want to make sure that you give people a choice and don't base it off of their appearance, their skin tone, their religion, their gender. Don't base it off of any of that. Just if they're in love with that character, then let them be that character.
Religion. All right, man. I want you to be in Fate because I know you're in Catholicism, but like
you go to church, right? Cosplay this.
I know what you meant. I just instantly.
I actually know because I have some friends that wear hijabs, right? And they've literally been typecasted with characters that wear those, and it really frustrates them because they could be anybody. So like, you know.
So just a couple of comments, guys. Also, we're very close to wrapping it up. So if you do have questions, guys, throw them in the chat.
Please let us know.
Joe says I'm always with a 3-person group, but we're family. I no longer. This is just random, but I no longer cosplay with my family because my brother is such a procrastinator and he's still doing stuff the day of. Anyway, Maya says thank you, Cosplay Choco, for sharing something to be mindful of. And I think people think that they're doing like a nice thing, and it's just need more education. I think just more education, more knowledge on that. But yeah, go ahead and ask us questions, guys, if you have anything for CosTalk Live or for our guests. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, continue.
No, so we'll start wrapping up. So Gravity, where can people like find you and reach you and follow you?
So I'm just about on every platform, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I'm probably forgetting something. Tumblr. I'm Gravity Cosplays. Sometimes there's an underscore, sometimes there's not. Just depends on the platform and what it allows. Otherwise, I have like art accounts. I run like roleplay accounts for specific fandoms, so it's pretty easy to find me.
I know I Googled Gravity Cosplays and it was very easy to find them. So very easy.
Good.
And Cosplay Choco?
Hi. So you can find me on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on Facebook, Tumblr if you dig real deep, but don't go there. Don't go there.
I still have my Tumblr somewhere too.
Oh my gosh.
Somewhere, I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's
Tumblr's
gone down a
wild.
dark hole. Like Tumblr has become.
It's so confusing.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm just like
I don't go back. I don't do it.
Yeah, there's stuff there. It's really weird now.
Oh, and then you can also find me on Twitch because I started a Twitch channel. If I get affiliate, I will finally do my Kermit the Frog like conspiracy theory talk. So
Yeah,
I've
been wanting to hear this.
we'll add you to our share channel.
I'll need to follow you guys then, because I just recently made one as well.
Yay!
I need to start following more people on my Twitch now that everything's fixed. So. All right, Jinx.
Yeah, you guys, are you guys gonna do your
Yeah,
You're
Jinx. Jinx.
What? Oh, yes. Hi. Okay. So I am so I have a website, jinxcosplay.com. And then I am on social media as the Jinx Cosplay because I got slow on the uptake, so I didn't get that. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and then Twitch as well. Twitch as well. So I'm gonna start streaming again. I keep saying that, but I'm just so busy. But I do want to. So yes.
Yeah. And then it's just thermocosplay.com. My server is down right now. It will be back up tomorrow. So for the time being, if you can't get to thermocosplay.com, you can just literally find ThermoCosplay on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Instructables.
And then, guys, we do stream every Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight or Mountain Standard Time, which is Arizona, because that's where we are. And we stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We also do have an Instagram. It's a little bit quiet, but we would love your follow as well. If you like our stuff, guys, please share us with your friends. And what are we doing next week, Sam?
Disney cosplay.
Yay!
So I'm still finalizing guests, but the two guests that we have so far that looks like they're going to attend would be Princess Sweet Pea and Craftily Ever After.
Yay! So, guys, tune in to us if you like us. Share and like and blah, blah, blah. Comment. Okay. All right.
Thank you
so much to our guests.
Yeah, everybody.
Cosplay Choco and Gravity Cosplays. Thank you so much, guys. And we will see you next week. Bye. Bye.